imworld session, live streaming session from actually Munich, and the session, the name is Building Mobile First Services, and this is actually what I had to do in recent projects, because most of the devices were mobile devices, and I would like to give you a very short introduction or how we did it and why we did it, and to explain behind the scenes what actually happened. So. About me, I'm working as a Java SE, EE, and JavaScript developer since 1995. I started with HTML and Java at the same time, and stick with that. And so I write a blog. It's more or less a notepad. So I write my thoughts. If I find something interesting which interests me, I just post it. 3 times a year, I organize workshop at Munich Airport. So if you like, come to Munich. And there is a spamming list, mailing list, AirHacks News with a meta information. Like, for instance, I post about such events like this one. And there are some online courses. So if you have still questions, there is once a month at 6 p.m. CET. I answer questions. It's exactly the same infrastructure like this. So I gather questions the whole month and then answer them at once. So these are the courses at Munich Airport. Some books, some online courses. And now let's start with the content. And so I spent some time in Romania, in Cluj, and I just wanted to explain something, and I searched for an example. And of course, I started with Dracula, and what happened was the developers told me they hate Dracula, and I said, okay, what we should build? And they told me something with Horinka would be nice, or Palinka. So okay, then let's build that. So this is my last slide. So let's go to the, by the way, you can ask me questions via Twitter or use the IRC, the built-in chat. So if you use Twitter, use hashtag airhacks or imworld. So I will try to read it. If not, I will stick after the session a while and will answer the questions then. Okay, so let's start with the backend. So what I wanted to do to create briefly a service and later deploy it on Docker and explain what happens behind the scenes and why it's mobile first and why the platform rocks. So Horinka, I think this is the right service. And then I would like create the application called Horinka boundary spirit resource, spirits resource. Let's do that. So, and what we could do in the usual way, we could create here a class and call this class Horinka. And this class could be just contain, I don't know, probably strength. I think is the, and yeah, strength is okay. Just, and let's say something else, name or a brand. Probably there are different brands. So I'm not that expert with Horinka. I just learned that is very important for developers. So, and what I also need, a default constructor. I will delete the class later. It's just introduction. We only have half an hour, so we have to speed it up. Accessor type and let's say field. So this is nothing new. This is daily builds, so can happen. So like this, and I would like to import that, and it should work. So we have spirits resource, and I could say you are the Horinka. I actually don't know what the plural is. I hope Horinkas. If not, you should change that. And but I will still return a Horinka. Get, doesn't matter. Return new Horinka. So brand is let's say you don't need Dracula, so let's say the drag, and of course strength at least 42. So so now run it. And I would like to choose an application server. Don't worry about this. This is like a lightweight process which works, which runs behind. Oh, this is the wrong one. a lightweight process which works behind the scenes. So I actually wanted exactly. This was the wrong one. This one, a newer one. So let's see whether it works. So run. I have too many servers on. So now it's booted, resources, and I hope Horinkas. Nice. So this is the Horinkas exposed. Of course, what we learned, mobile first, and no mobile client is interested in XML. So what we could do, of course, we could say, okay, but what you could do, because we have a killer platform, we could say accept application/JSON. So application/JSON. So I forgot just the tick here. So and I get it as JSON. But hence we know we just working with mobile clients, and they are absolutely not interested in XML. And furthermore, the Horinka class does not provide me a lot of functionality. So it's just static Java class or statically typed Java class, which may even cause some trouble in future. We do something different. So what I would prefer is to go with that. Just expose JSON object, and the JSON object returns is created just like this. It's not like this. Create object builder. Add. Let's just go with name. It was the Dracula brand. Brand is okay. I think as brand Dracula is perfect. And strength 42. So build. So now we only have JSON. There's no XML anymore. So if I just would rerun it, you see we got JSON. But what we got now, the total flexibility. And this is what we actually do. We start in the fresh project just with JSON, and no one asked for XML because most of the clients HTML5, React, Angular, native, Android, or iOS, they just expect JSON. So XML is not that useful anymore. So the next finding is if you start with your project, what happens to you? The UI developers would like to implement your UI faster than you actually can implement the business logic. So there's a nice hack. So what we do over and over again. So I create usually a JSON file. I call it test, and I create here some test data, and this can be whatever you like. Let's say Horinka, Palinka, and there was something else, Torinka or something like this. I forgot this. So let's keep this. And this is in test JSON. So I would like to build that. And instead of doing this, I would just delete that and go with JSON array. And what you could do right now, I could say try input stream equals this get class, get resource as stream, and test JSON. I think it should work like this. So, and what we can do inside return, so we have some imports, JSON.create reader, I think, stream.read array. Perfect. And so we need some. So why not is imported this IO exception. So yeah, just throw the exception. So it looks like this. Oh, perfect. And I would just run it. So I run this. And what should happen is the following. We should see here Horinka, what was it? Resources Horinkas. This is still the old one. So I will just, I need to rebuild that and run it. So the point is you can very quickly deliver test data from a local folder. So instead of thinking, just building the objects over and over again, we get the JSON object by scraping our website or getting it from a SQL database or whatever, and we can very quickly build the front end. So exactly. So start failed. So I actually wanted to start the other one. So run. Where is it? What? Perfect. So this one and run. And run. So it's just too fast. So resources, Horinka Palinka, this time from my local file. So if I don't know, another, let's say whiskey is not exactly, I think, your stuff, but so in this whiskey. So this is actually what we do in the first iterations. So we just, provide a basic infrastructure for the backend. And at the same time, I tend to write some tests. So just write quickly on test. This is Java application. And I call it Horinka ST for ST. And then Jaxuri DApp. So I would just add some dependencies. And how it usually works is I would just check the folder boundary is perfect. And then say, okay, new. Where's my test? JUnit test class. This is the package, and the name was Spirit Resource IT. And this is my integration tests, which is actually a system test. Init client, and what happens here is my basic tests whether the service actually is working. And this always happens. So in my case, so client builder dot new client, and I get the client here. And the client gets target, and the target was the URI. And then this is the target on the test. And fetch spirits. Spirits. This is the next step, actually. Why? Because if you start with the JavaScript client and error happens, you have to be sure that your service is actually working. And this can be easily done with a test client. And what I would do, I would like to say request get, and what we get back is the response, and this has to be 200. That response get status is 200. Assert that und test that. Perfect, even works, unusual for the first time. Read entity, and what I would like to have is JSON array. This is the answer, or actually spirits. Sorry, spirits. Assert that, or so we could. Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. So I would just make a very quick test. Assert not null, or assert false. This should be enough. It's not about testing this talk, so it's empty. Should be enough. And just to show you that it actually something comes back, I would just add a system out println. So let's see what happens. It's still green. And what we get here, some content. Horinka Palinka whiskey seems to work. So, and this is the second step. This is more important than unit test, integration test, because this is also the entry point if you're building other microservices. This is actually the step which will communicate with the other side. So let's see whether we have any questions. Questions here? Heidian Vilenga asked me, that's cool. The development environment. How much does it cost? So it is actually free and is very productive. So Heltian, you should check that. So it is really nice. So any other questions just about my environment? No questions? Okay. Then go for it. So by the way, the IDE is called NetBeans and comes with nice Docker support. So what we did, we built a service called Horinka. We started with naive assumption that mobile clients are going to expose XML, or consume XML, but I think we are more interested in JSON. So we created a JSON mocks, which were served from local file system. And we wrote a system test to be sure that it actually, or actually what happens done in real world. So I just go to the Horinka ST, and now I can check that face-safe integration test from the command line, whether this is actually working or not. And this is particularly important because the next step is to make it run on Jenkins in a pipeline and automate the whole process. Okay, so nice. But let's say we would like to run it in Docker. So how to do that? It is really beneficial to run it in Docker. So to explain you first, so there is a project on GitHub. I actually can show you this. GitHub, Adam B in Docklens. And you will find lots of images here. And these images are also pushed to Docker Hub. And what's interesting with the images here? What's interesting, I didn't mention, but I'm using Java EE, and the Java EE has a unique quality, and the unique quality is there is deployment. So what means deployment? Deployment means you can deploy your microservice, your WAR, to the application server, and they are separated. And this is particularly useful if you have Docker. So what it means, my Docker environment, I will switch to NetBeans again, is organized that way that the Java image just installs the operating system, which is CentOS 7 and Java. From that inherits the application server image, which in my case is Payara, Whitefly, Tomy, WebSphere, Liberty Profile, or WebLogic. It does not matter. So this installs the application server once. And now comes the interesting part. The actual image is like here, Payara pink, is tiny. What it just does, it adds the actual WAR. So what it means, if you build several times a day, your Docker image is tiny because the Payara or the application servers are strictly separated and they are built only once, and they sit only once on your hard disk. So they don't have to be copied over and over again. Okay, so let's see how it feels live. So Dockerfile. So there is nice support for Docker. Where is my other and Dockerfile? So I'm actually, Dockerfile, finish. And let's decide we would like to use the Payara application server. The only thing I have to do is to do the following and say a copy. So I get nice code completion, but copy. And what I know, hence we have Java EE and Maven, that the name of the WAR has to be horinka.war, and I can push it to deployment dir. This should be enough. Nice. So I have it. Then try to build this. So Maven clean install, and now we can say Docker build -t imworld horinka dot build. So as you can see, so we built the whole image, and it took I guess 1.5 seconds at most. Docker images, and you will see at the top of the image you have imworld horinka, and you can see 14 seconds ago, but the total size is 60 650 megabytes. You can say, how is it possible to build 600 megabytes in 14 seconds or in 1 second? And the truth is, this is the virtual size. So this is the total size. This is not actually the size of the image. So if you go to Docker history, imworld Horinka, you will see that what we actually built is 5 kilobyte big. And the Payara was 140 megabytes, was built once half year ago. So it took 1 minute, but half year ago, and it was not built over again. So what it means, there's actually a new Payara version 1.6.3, and I will create a new image. So I will build it again. And then, until the next release, I just built my war. And this is actually the unique feature of application servers, because we have these separations. If you would build, your fat jar, your jar will be built over and over again, and regardless how big, the bigger the jar, the slower the deployment, and the slower the deployment, the less productive you are. Okay, so I hope it's self-evident. This is really nice. So let's see whether there are any questions. So no question here. So exactly, no questions here. So the chat is also very lazy. So if you have no questions, very good. So I can show you more stuff. Now we would like to start the Horinka in Docker. Docker run -d in detach mode, -p, and now let's check a port. I hope this port is open. This is always a little bit problematic. Let's call it Horinka, and the name of the image I think was imworld Horinka. Okay, this is actually a good sign already. So let's see. So the service is started, and now what I would try to do is to access the server. It was port 8484. I hope 8484. Nice. Horinka was resources, and I think spirits. Not found. Horinka resources spirits. Was it spirits? What was it? Horinkas. So Horinkas, and we have Horinkas from Docker. So and now the interesting question is, or the interesting feature, what you actually can do now. You can put your microservices to a Docker network, which is really convenient, because what I do frequently, for instance, we have an Elasticsearch image for a NoSQL database, or NoSQL database or Postgres. So what you can do then, you can start, a database or a NoSQL database, which is not visible from outside, but all your microservices can access the database just using the container name. And this is really convenient. I do it in 2 projects right now, exactly in this way. So the time is almost over, but the other speaker took longer, so we can also make a little bit longer. So the next trick, what you can do, so Docker has health checks, which are really convenient. So instead of doing this, we could just say, I would like to inherit from Payara Pink. So, and what it basically means, I can run it again, and I can build it again. This is what I would like to do. So build -t imworld Horinka. So it was rebuilt again. And now I would like to kill Horinka and also remove my Horinka. Remove my Horinka. Okay, so run it. And the cool story is what we see here. We actually not see here. Now what we see here is the server is up for 2 seconds and the health is starting. So this was not available before. So I will just rerun it. As you can see, the state is healthy right now. So what we got, hash check. So how this is implemented? Well, it's very simple. So there is the Payara image, the Payara Pink image here. Comes with a health check functionality. And this health check functionality pings another war which provides health check information every 15 seconds. And if this fails, the service, the state of the service becomes unhealthy. And let's try that. So let's try to break the application server. It's not that easy. So docker minus exec minus it. And the name was Horinka. And what I would like to do is bin bash. So now I'm in the Docker image. And domains auto deploy. And as you can see, there's the Horinka deployed and the ping deployed. So I would just delete the ping. So remove ping. And this should be enough. How is Docker inspect? Docker inspect Horinka. So now if we scroll a little bit up, you can see these are the checks, and you see failing streak once. So the check failed already once. So do it again. Do it again. Failing streak 2, and a third time it will change the status. So we will just. So as you can see, now our service is unhealthy. So we get it out of the box with application servers. So nice is also the last thing. Instead of Payara, I could of course use Whitefly ping. Sorry, I'm wrong here. So where was my image? Horinka. Here, this is my image. Instead of Payara ping, I could of course rely on Whitefly and then make it run on Whitefly. So let's do that. Build, and I would just name it differently. Horinka WF Whitefly. So let's build again and run. Port 8585. Horinka Whitefly. And name has to also be different, Whitefly. So now, with a little bit of luck, we should see it running on Whitefly. And we have here Whitefly. And then 8585 was, I think, the port. 8585. And this is great because this is default behavior from Whitefly. So, any questions? No questions here. No questions in the chat. Let's just check the tag imworld. Also no questions here. So what's wrong with you? So if not, then big thank you for you. Enjoy the imworld, and if you like, come to Airport Munich. And what I used was stock Java 7 with Docker. I use it in all my projects, and we deliver contents for React, AngularJS. We still use JSF frontends. It works really nice, and it's extremely productive. So thank you for watching. And see you in upcoming conferences, Java User Group or EHEX Munich. So thank you and bye.